another patient. I saw her from middle school on, and I know her mother and her father very well, and she's now a physical therapist in our community. These kids, they're having their families, and they still are coming in to see me after all these years. You know, they can move on and go to other places. They still come to me, and that means a lot. I'm Dr. John Lydia from Springs Dentistry, and I'd like to invite you into our family.
Hey there, crew. Good morning. I am back in the Peaks to Plains Weather Center. I am Matt Meister. It is Friday. Thanks for starting your day with us here at Peaks to Plains Weather. Got the boy off to college, got back yesterday. A week from now, we'll be dropping the baby off. Well, we got 2 kids, so she's not a baby anymore, but Whitney's going to be heading off to college next week, and so I will be back where I was. Man, lots of water in the Midwest, in Indiana. You can still see it. It's been, a week and a half or so since they had those just tremendous flooding issues, more than 20 inches of rain in some places, and you can still see a lot of that water sitting around. We had some water yesterday. Let's talk about it. Here's what our view looked like from Woodman Heights late in the day, catching some thunderstorms here. By the way, if you would like to have an hour view weather camera, you can go to peaksToPlainsWeather.com. You can check out the live views of these cameras. I'll be adding daily time lapses to those here. I'm going to work on that this weekend. But we want cameras all over the place here. So whether you've got a business, a nonprofit, a school, you're on a town council, you work at a co-op, let us know. We would love to connect with you there. I've got a form on the website. This is the storm that had a severe thunderstorm warning on it on the west side of the Springs yesterday. No severe weather reports yesterday. Had a flash flood warning for the Aspen Acres fire. No reports of that producing any significant flooding yesterday, so that's good news. And you can see here on the radar estimated rain that most of the storms were over and near the mountains. It's going to be a little bit of a different kind of stretch here as we head through the weekend, because with time, we are going to get better chances of storms east of the mountains than we'll have out there today. Cold front set to come in overnight, and that's going to change things up a little bit into the weekend. The high driving the monsoon also shifts a little bit as well. We'll talk about that forecast coming up here in just a little bit. How are you this morning? Well, Jeff says, let's go. It's Friday. I'm with you, man. He also says, my senior out at senior sunrise at Falcon High School. So a great morning for that. It is nice out there. In fact, Susan says, hey, Palmer Lake, nice this morning. Usually is. Julie got a little bit of rain last night. She says, hail, though. That's not so good. Let me know how big the hail was where you are, Julie. And Green Bay Barb saying, happy Friday. Welcome back. It is good to be back. Tammy, good to see you as well. Thanks for checking in here early this morning. I appreciate it. Got my American Classic coffee this morning. I've got Woody's Brew in here. It is delicious. It's firing me up. American Classic coffee can fire you up as well. Go to peakstoplainsweather.com. You can see all of our partners here on Peaks to Plains, and we would appreciate it if you supported them when you had purchasing decisions to make. They make it possible for us to do this, and we love growing local businesses as well and kind of keeping things here in Southern Colorado. Always important stuff to do. All right, let's get outside this morning, see what's happening out there, and I will start off with our camera here in Woodman Heights this morning, where we've got a clear sky. It is 58 degrees there. Kissing Camel this morning. Checking in with 62. A beautiful start to the day and a little bit green there. Elsewhere across the region as we start off our Friday, we've got a mixture of 50s and 60s. And notice some of the mountain valley areas. Alamosa in the mid-40s. Salida is in the 40s this morning. And all of that an indication here of what we've got on the way for the weekend, because there is a little bit of dry air at the surface that some of the storms today are going to have to overcome. Springfield in the southeast corner of the state, it is 65. Yesterday in Pueblo, we had a storm rolling into town, had a severe thunderstorm warning on it, and then it kind of died as it came into town. So the north side of Pueblo West, we got more more than a half inch of rain. In some cases, the storm for a little bit of time looked like it was going to put down some maybe bigger than inch diameter hail, and it may have done so, but it was kind of just to the north of a lot of the houses in Pueblo West, so that's some good news. We don't want that rolling through town. 59 this morning, humidity at 83%. We'll drop that pretty noticeably here as we head through the afternoon. First view over the plains. Now, it's going to be a dry day over the plains today. It's going to be hot as well. We're ahead of a cold front, and we are going to be near some records today. So a lot of us are going to be a little bit warmer than we had yesterday. Walsenburg this morning, waking up at 61. And if you're on your way up to Denver, it's a mild morning in Castle Rock, driving through Douglas County as we sit here at 67. So here is hoping that you are having a fantastic start to your day. What's on the way for the rest of the day? Well, let's jump into the short-term forecast here and let's talk about it. Yesterday, for some perspective, I kind of like using yesterday as a jumping off point, right? We all went through it. We know what that was like. So if I can use that to compare, it's usually helpful. We did hit 91 in Salida yesterday, managed 90 in the Springs. La Junta, we got to 100. Well, here's what happens today. Ahead of the cold front, everybody warms up a little bit. Puts us right at some records in the Springs and Pueblo. The record in the Springs is 94. If we don't get there, we're going to be close. Might be a little bit tough to break it today. We'll keep an eye on that. In Pueblo today, our record is right around 100. It is 101 today. So again, we'll be knocking on the door of these things. And in Alamosa, the record's 89. So I've got us tying it. Behind the front tomorrow, it's not so much the temperatures. I mean, we're not going to be as hot as today, but it's the low-level moisture that plays a bigger role in the forecast for the weekend. Early this morning, you can see that clouds have been on the decrease, and that is associated with this area of high pressure that we've got here. It's kind of been near the four corners, meandering around a little bit, and we've been recycling moisture underneath this thing each day. Most of the waves today are off to our southwest. We'll get the one over Arizona to rotate overhead tomorrow. So today, the terrain is going to play a role, and I expect storms over and near the mountains. You saw on some of those humidities as we were checking out cameras that they were up there a little bit this morning. Dew points will drop today, especially as we hit the afternoon. We get that heat ahead of the cold front. It's going to be tough as storms get away from the mountains today to produce too much in the way of rain. But with the additional elevation, some of the mountain areas will have some bursts of what I think will be some moderate rain today. So we'll keep an eye on the Aspen Acres burn. But it's certainly the mountains that are firing up the storms here in the afternoon. Anything too far east of them is going to be a little bit tough during the afternoon and the early evening. There might be some virga out over the plains. I think that would be about it. I also think over the mountains, the storms aren't as strong today as they were yesterday. So when we were popping severe thunderstorm warnings on the west side of Pikes Peak, we were popping them in northeast Fremont County, had that one on the west side of the Springs. The likelihood of that today is lower. However, as we head into tonight, the cold front comes in, and the little wave driving that could spark a couple of thunderstorms in the late evening and early morning, mainly to the east of the interstate. We saw that earlier this week, so something I want to make you aware of. We might get that again tonight. And so what does that mean here for the weekend? Well, the big difference is two things tomorrow. There's a stronger wave coming over the mountains in that kind of recycled flow, and we've got low-level moisture for storms to deal with. That provides more energy. Now, it's going to take a while for storms east of the mountains tomorrow, but when they go, late afternoon and evening, a couple of them could be strong. Some wind gusts around 60, maybe some hail around an inch in diameter. So the good news is, from doing things outside in a timing perspective with those severe storms, they're sort of late in the day. It's not like they're firing up at 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon, because you see that's where the mountains will be getting storms here. And they will have a little bit more oomph tomorrow, a little bit more water to work with over the mountains too than today. So where today's maybe on the high end of things, some moderate rain, tomorrow some moderate to heavy rain with some of the storms. And then it's as we move into the evening here, we start to get some storms over the Palmer Divide, the Raton Mesa. They shift east into the evening when the cities could catch some storms, and we'll keep them around for a while on the plains tomorrow and see how they're kind of clustering That means wind is our biggest threat, but I can't rule out a little bit of hail around an inch in diameter. And then they'll stick around for a while too, maybe into early Sunday morning before things finally sort of die out. From a temperature perspective, like I said, behind the front on Saturday, that's not really a huge sort of impact from this. I mean, we're not going to be around the records, so we'll shave 3 to 5 degrees off. We'll take it. But it's not like it's a 15-degree cool down or anything like that. And then we shave another couple of degrees on Sunday, because Sunday through about Tuesday or so of next week, I think, is going to be kind of our best coverage of storms across the region. So I will get to that in our extended forecast in just a little bit. All righty, right now I want to bring in a really good man, somebody impacted by the Aspen Acres fire, and someone doing some work to kind of make sure that the community can recover very nicely. I want to welcome in now John Christensen, who is joining us this morning. And John, how are you, my friend?
We're doing good. We're doing really good this morning. How about yourself?
I am doing well. Thank you very much. Let's talk a little bit about why you're joining me here on Peaks to Plains Weather. I know you and your family, you have a wedding venue and you want to use that to kind of bless the community, and that's coming up next weekend. So let's talk about how what you guys have on tap here to benefit those that have been impacted by the fire.
So what we got going on is we call it the Brush Canyon Bash, and this is our 6th annual one. It was kind of the brainchild of my wife and I and some other close friends. We had a member of the community 6 years ago that just needed a hand up, and
Okay.
so we put together this little get together with some guys and some guitars, and we did some food, and now it has grown into a huge community event. We have 3 food trucks coming this year. Oh, 4. My carriage just corrected me. Get over here. Back there, this is my wife, Kara.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you very much. So normally, it's just kind of a community get together, but is it always sort of a fundraising perspective, or is that what you're adding to it this year because of the fire?
No, it's always a fundraiser. Yeah. There's always been some recipient for the money that we raise. And this year we're just doing it for the people of the Greenhorn Valley here that were affected by the fire. So we thankfully were not. And so we get to go on and have our fundraiser next weekend that has been planned. And so we are feeling really blessed that we still get to have this and try to help some people.
Okay, so let's get to the specifics of the Brush Canyon Ranch to help the folks in your area that are impacted by the fire. Give me the time, what people need to do, where they can go to find out more information, and kind of what the goals are next weekend.
So they can find, there's lots of info on Brush Canyon Ranch on Facebook and Instagram. The event, they start serving at 5. Our live auction starts at 7, right? Is that right?
Yep. The dance starts at 6.
And then the music starts at 6. We'll take a small break, do the live auction, and then after the auction is over, the live music continues till about 10, 11 o'clock. And the food trucks are still open usually till then. They go till they run out of food. This year we have Rooster's Pizza Wagon coming, Steel City Cafe, You Be Hungry from out here at the Valley, and then Sips and Sweets by Gina Wyant. So lots of food, lots of fun. All the items for the auction are donated by local businesses and crafters. There's Turquoise Jewelry, handmade cutting boards. Ace Hardware makes a big donation. There are gift certificates from Westcliff Meats. The golf course, there's all sorts of local stuff that gets donated. So we're really looking forward to it.
Well, that's fantastic. For folks in the cities who might not have been where you guys are, explain where you are and how someone can get to Brush Canyon before we even go look for that information. And I'll make sure that I share that here on Peaks to Plains Weather.
So we're really easy to find on Google, and Google Maps, they bring you right to the driveway.
Okay,
It,
but
it
give
works.
us an idea of where you are, is what I meant.
Oh, sorry. So Rye, Colorado is about 45 minutes southwest of Pueblo. Exit 74, and then we're about 14 miles towards the mountain from there. If anybody is familiar with Bishop's Castle, it's on the highway that takes you to Bishop's Castle, and then we're on a little dirt road called Old San Isabel.
Awesome, awesome. How are you guys doing? How is the community doing? Given that, shoot, I don't even know what we are at this point. A month and a half, 2 months behind the fire.
I feel like everybody's kind of on the rebound, don't you think, Kara?
I think it's been incredible. Honestly, everybody is showing so much love and so much support. And I know that emotions are high, but oh my goodness, the way people have been showing up for others is like very inspiring. All the businesses that have stepped up to help us, put this event on. It's usually really impressive the number of businesses that show up, but people are coming out of the woodwork for this one.
Yeah.
We've seen that with the
everybody's
different
really pulled
tragedies that
together.
we've had in
pretty
Colorado. Like it's the people that, like you said, Kara, just come out of the woodwork and are helping people, that I think makes it amazing and is unfortunately taking the tragedy sometimes to remind us of just how amazing our communities are. Well, you don't need to give names or anything, but what sort of is the biggest need that the funds that you raise from this are going to specifically go to?
Well,
we were just speaking with a funding committee last night to kind of help us understand, priorities, so that way the funds can go, really be dispersed to those who need it most first. And really it's those who have lost homes and, first homes, not second homes, first homes and livelihoods. Really, we're wanting to try and focus on that. I mean, we want to help everyone, but to make the biggest impact that we can locally, definitely people's primary residences.
yeah, and we're, like Kara said, we're working with some committees with United Way and volunteers for community, and because there's a wide range of what people lost and need, right? So
Right.
that's a little bit out of our wheelhouse. So we have reached
Sure.
out for a little bit of help.
Nice.
Because normally when we do this deal, we have a little wad of money that we raised and we go directly to the person, and
Right.
it's a gift from the community, but this is a little different scale.
Sure. Okay, well, tell us about the Brush Canyon Bash one more time for folks that are just joining us this morning. When it is, where we can learn more, and how we can come out, and why we should come out and support you guys.
Oh, great. So it's our 6th annual Brush Canyon Bash at Brush Canyon Ranch in Rye, Colorado, just southwest of Pueblo. Saturday, August 29th, doors open at 5. Food starts right then. Music at 6, live auction at 7, and as soon as that is wrapped up, music for the rest of the night.
Say the band.
The band is it's the Walton family band. They're called Sugar Eat. They are also part of Captain Reed, but they were booked, so there's other family members that have this little other band, and
Nice.
great live music, great cover band. These guys are amazing. They're donating their time. The food trucks usually end up donating proceeds of their sales, and then 100% of the proceeds will go to the fire victims.
Nice. Well, that is fantastic. I would be there, except I'm taking my daughter to college, to her first year of college. So in my heart, I will be there. Peaks to Plains Weather is going to donate $250 to the cause. So we are honored to do that. We appreciate what you guys are doing. We are standing with you. We continue to do that. I want you to know that. So John and Kara, thank you so much. It's Brush Canyon Bash at Brush Canyon Ranch. It is next weekend, and we'll share this all over the place on Peaks to Plains Weather. So I appreciate you both, and thanks for making time this morning to talk with us about that.
Oh, thank you very much, man. We sure appreciate you.
You are very, very welcome. Such good people, obviously, everyone impacted, by the fire, doing their little part in the larger community coming together. And so, it's something we are going to carry with us, carry forward in not just the weeks and the months ahead, like we talked about kind of during the fire and everything. This is, something that these folks are going to be dealing with for years ahead. And so that's a fun way that you can go and support them. And it's a beautiful part of Colorado. If you haven't been down there, use this as your sort of, linchpin to go and be a part of that. So thanks to both of them this morning. When we come back, we will talk about our forecast here for the weekend, because we are going to keep an eye on the Aspen Acres fire. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second. You're on Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together. Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&B Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
Hey Peaks to Plains viewers, this is John over here at Petrali Roofing. It's hail season here in Colorado, and you might think that your roof doesn't have hail damage, but think again. Hail damage is hard to spot from the ground. That's why Petrali Roofing does free 21-point inspections. Give us a call today. We'll come out and take a look. And if we do find hail damage and your roof qualifies for a re-roof, you'll get $250 off if you choose us to do that installation. So give us a call today, 719-375-8773. Have us come out and take a look today.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
Employee pricing is over, but at Phil Ford in Motor City, American value still means something. Colorado's best season, Phil Long's biggest discounts of the year, 0% financing, no payments for 90 days, and I'll throw $1,000 towards your down payment. Plus, get a complimentary 2-year premium maintenance plan.
That's the Phil Long way.
We'll beat any deal by $750, and we'll prove it only at the original Ford store in Motor City.
Alrighty, well, about the extended forecast here in southern Colorado, here's what we've got on the way as we move through the weekend into next week. We have got, we'll zoom in on it here and kind of give you a better view of the monsoon that is rotating clockwise here over the western U.S. We want that there. That's the large-scale weather feature that drives the monsoon. Right now, we have a little bit of a tap, but more than anything, we're kind of rotating moisture underneath it and sort of recycling things here on a day-to-day basis. And that means that we need, triggers. And so there are some upper level waves that are in this, but the other thing that kind of drives it is interaction with the terrain in the Rocky Mountains. So as we hit the afternoons, you see, moisture getting pulled higher up into the atmosphere with the thunderstorms that we have. And we'll keep this water around into next week. But there is a little bit of a shift on the way off to the southeast, ever so slightly. But it does play a role in our forecast here as we move into next week. So let's focus on the details and what that means for us here as we move past our weekend and into next week. We get multiple days of some scattered thunderstorms across the area. And I'm going to show you two different computer models here. The bright green, I picked that on purpose, is an inch or more of rain. And if you look at one model, the thunderstorms hit some places. You look at another model, they're in other places, but they both have a similar pattern here and a bullseye. And I think Sunday through Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, is going to be our busiest stretch. This wave right here over the Central Plains is what sends the cold front in for tomorrow. And again, it doesn't drop us a ton. It gets us away from the records that we'll have today, but it adds low-level moisture, fuel for storms. And so once they can get east of the mountains, it'll take until late in the day we will see some kind of strong storms with some wind gusts around 60, some hail around an inch. We head into Sunday, we're still talking storms firing up first over the mountains and then gradually moving eastward with time. And so they'll develop first in the early afternoons, middle part of the day over the mountains. It takes a while for them to shift eastward. And so it's the late afternoon and evening when we start watching areas east of the mountains. And the pattern doesn't change all that much for Monday. We're just inching the high off to the southeast ever so slightly, but it keeps us kind of on the west and north side of the high. And so that keeps us in an area where we are drawing on that moisture into Colorado. And then as we move into next week, we'll watch a couple of waves that may impact us. So anytime we add a front to the mix over eastern Colorado, we increase the low-level moisture, we increase the possibility of the strength of storms. That's something that we'll keep an eye on. And then once we move past the middle part of next week, and it's going to be either Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll start to see the moisture thin out a little bit. The pattern will change some. The coverage of storms will drop on a day-to-day basis, and we'll start to see the temperatures come up a little bit as well. Again, not sure if it'll, happen after Wednesday, but it's certainly part of the extended forecast. So as you look at Woodland Park here, a scattering of storms from tomorrow all the way over the mountains through about Thursday before we start to get to a drying trend. And again, usually when that happens, the temperatures come up some. So that's what I'm doing with our forecast. I think a lot of the day in the heart of Colorado Springs tomorrow will be dry. It's going to be what I call a late show for areas east of the mountains. But as we head into the evening, late afternoon, evening, around dinner time, we'll start to see the chance of some storms. So you'll be able to do some stuff tomorrow. If you are up on the north end, we'll start to see some storms move off of the ramparts and over the Palmer Divide, maybe late afternoon. But again, in the heart of the city, I think a good chunk of the day is going to be okay. And then Sunday through Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll keep the storms around before we hit that warming and drying trend. And it's kind of the same story for Pueblo. So after being near the records today, we come down a little bit tomorrow, come down a little bit more early next week with the chance of storms. Again, can't guarantee that you at your specific spot where you happen to be in the afternoon or evening are going to get one, but they will be out there. And then we'll get hotter toward next weekend. And we get into the back part of August here. If we've got some 100s across the plains, we start to get close to records, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Alrighty, crew, questions from you this morning. Let's see here. Debbie is at the Greek Festival on Saturday at 3 o'clock is when it starts. So hopefully I just answered that for you. Front end of it going to be better than the back part because storms get a little bit more likely here as we head into the evening tomorrow. And like I said, some of those could be strong. Tammy says she got a little bit of rain in Weston yesterday. That is good news. And then Barb says, hey, has there been an update on the drought report? Yes, that came out yesterday. And let me pull that up, Barb, and we will take a look at that here because what we'll see over the last, couple of weeks here, I'll take it, let's start in the middle part of July here. And we'll see what kind of impacts we have had from some of the rain that we've had around here as of late. So here's where we were, July 21st. You can see that lots of us dealing with drought, deepest drought over the big mountain areas, just to the northeast of La Junta and to the west of Walsenburg and Trinidad. Some of the updates over the last, month, let's call it, does show a little bit of improvement over parts of eastern Colorado, but a deepening of drought elsewhere, including in the Pikes Peak region. So huge, enormous changes? No. Do we need more water? Absolutely. And you can see west of Walsenburg, that area of some of the deepest drought has expanded some. Let me take it back one more time. We'll kind of watch that again here. All right, let's kind of run it through from there. So you see, we get an expansion of the drought to the west of Walsenburg and Trinidad. So again, this is from July, middle part of July into now, deepening of the drought over the southern slopes of the Palmer Divide. Even though these areas have had some rain, it takes a long time to get into droughts. It takes a long time to get out of them as well. So, we start looking forward to September. I think we're still going to have the monsoon around. We will still be active. That's good news because, like we just saw, we certainly need the water. While I was traveling this week, the Climate Prediction Center long-term forecasting is not my area of expertise. Certainly have some knowledge about it, but I definitely lean on folks that have done that for their career. Did some updates this week, not just for September, but kind of the seasonal sort of outlooks through the winter because the El Nino is with us. It is here. It continues to strengthen. Forecasts for that continue for it to be on the strong end of things. Perhaps one of the all-time, at least since we've been aware of it, strongest El Ninos. I will do an outlook here through the weekend about what I am expecting for Colorado into the winter, what that means for us, some of the things that we can maybe say are a little more likely, some of the areas of the state that we have a little bit more unknown about. I'll do that over the weekend, so make sure you keep it with Peaks to Plains weather here. We'll do some of that seasonal forecasting as we move through the weekend. I'll put that up on the app. I'll put it up on the website. I'll share it on social media as well. Wherever you are, that's where we are, because Peaks to Plains weather is our weather together. Buddy Jimbo says, welcome back. Jim, it is good to be back. And Michael says, happy Friday. Yes, indeedy. Davey says, I've been hearing things about getting a cool down towards the end of September. There are a couple of signs of maybe a stronger type system out there. I mean, that's more than a month away. I'm not going to get too hung up on that, but I have seen some of those signs. And newsflash, starts getting cooler toward the late part of September. Well, that shouldn't be a newsflash. It happens every year. That's kind of how the atmosphere works here as we head toward fall. Crew, that's it for me this morning. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for being part of the beginning of my day. I appreciate you being here with me. This has been Mornings with Meister. This is Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together. Have a good day.
Ramos Law serves people. We make the world a better place. We put people ahead of anything else. It's my name on this business. It's my face on the billboards. And what you don't see through any of that stuff is you don't see my heart. We've built this family, this Ramos Law family, in a way that will include you. And hopefully by the end of our representation, you also feel part of the Ramos Law family. I look forward to taking care of you.